The day I stopped explaining myself. 3 winters ago, I watched a man quietly change his life in a way that terrified everyone who used to control him. He didn't move cities. He didn't post motivational quotes. He didn't even announce it. He just stopped explaining himself. People who once interrupted him suddenly waited for his words. Those who ignored him started asking for his time. The same relatives who criticized him began choosing their tone carefully. Nothing external had changed, but internally, he had crossed a line most people never even see. A line between living for approval and living from authority. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Right now, there are 2 versions of you competing for control of your life. One survives on validation, reassurance, and being liked. The other survives on clarity, discipline, and self-respect. One negotiates with chaos. The other commands it. Today, you're going to meet that second version. Not the cruel one. Not the heartless one. The unshakable one. The version of you that cannot be manipulated because it no longer negotiates its worth. Stay with me. Because by the end of this, you won't just feel stronger, you'll think differently. And once your thinking changes, the world's grip on you loosens forever. This is the architecture becoming psychologically untouchable, the energy leak you never noticed. Imagine carrying a bucket full of water across a desert. Unaware, there's a crack at the bottom. You keep walking, keep sweating, keep trying harder. But the bucket never fills the cup you're trying to pour into. That crack is misplaced generosity. Modern psychology calls this compassion fatigue, when giving without reciprocity drains identity itself. Research from the University of Zurich shows chronic emotional overgiving leads to decreased self-worth and increased anxiety. Not because kindness is weak, but because unprotected kindness becomes self-erasure. Healthy generosity is selective. Unhealthy generosity is compulsive. Ask yourself, who benefits most from your constant availability? Who panics when you stop responding instantly? Who only calls when they need something? Your future strength begins the moment you stop donating energy to places that never invest back. Brain exercise, the audit. Tonight, list 5 people you interact with most. After each name, write, energizes me, drains me, you'll discover something unsettling. Most of your exhaustion isn't from work, it's from people. When you seal the crack in the bucket, something unexpected happens. You stop chasing appreciation and start attracting respect. Pain as raw material. A blacksmith doesn't hate the fire. He needs it. Pain is psychological heat. Neuroscience research shows adversity, when processed constructively, increases resilience pathways in the brain, post-traumatic growth. But most people don't process pain. They personalize it. Instead of asking, what is this shaping me into? They ask, why is this happening to me? Victims seek fairness. Builders seek leverage. Think of every rejection, betrayal, or failure as raw material delivered to your workshop. Some people burn inside it. Others forge armor from it. Fire story example. A startup founder once lost everything after a partner betrayed him. Lawsuits, debt, public embarrassment. Instead of hiding, he spent a year studying negotiation psychology and contract law. His next company didn't just succeed, it made betrayal impossible. Pain had upgraded him, not broken him. Your suffering becomes power only when analyzed, not dramatized. Ask, what did this teach me about boundaries? What blind spot did it reveal? What skill did it force me to develop? Pain is not an enemy. It's an instructor that charges brutal tuition. The freedom of not being misunderstood. Here's a dangerous addiction most people never admit. The need to be accurately perceived. You want people to get you. But powerful individuals understand something liberating. Misunderstanding is not a threat. It's insulation. When you stop narrating your motives, you remove handles others use to steer you. Elite negotiators use this principle constantly. Controlled ambiguity, not deception. Strategic privacy. You don't owe the world a documentary about your intentions. You owe yourself results. Notice how leaders, surgeons, chess grandmasters, and special forces operators communicate. Brief, calm, decisive, not because they're arrogant, because clarity requires few words, not detachment without coldness. Detachment is often mistaken for indifference. In reality, It's emotional self-regulation, the ability to care without collapsing. A therapist once described it perfectly. Attachment says, I need you to be okay so I can be okay. Detachment says, I want you to be okay, but I will be okay regardless. That difference changes everything. When you stop chasing responses, you start choosing environments. When you stop arguing, you start exiting. Power is not forcing outcomes. It's selecting arenas, the architecture of self-respect. A city without walls gets invaded. A life without boundaries gets consumed. Boundaries are not punishments for others. They are instructions for interacting with you. Clear people are respected because they remove ambiguity. Examples of high-level boundaries. I don't discuss personal matters at work. I'm unavailable after 9 p.m. I don't loan money to friends. I leave conversations that become disrespectful. No anger required. Just consistency, the quiet advantage. In negotiations, the person comfortable with silence often wins. Why? Because silence creates psychological pressure. The other side rushes to fill it, revealing information. Social intelligence researchers call this conversational asymmetry. Speak less than you know. Observe more than you reveal. Silence is not absence. It's data collection of selective loyalty. Blind loyalty creates hostages. Principled loyalty creates alliances. Strong people commit to values first, people second. Because people change. Values anchor. Ask yourself, is your loyalty based on history or mutual growth? The untethered state. Untouchable doesn't mean isolated. It means internally anchored. Your mood no longer depends on reactions. Your confidence no longer depends on applause. Your direction no longer depends on permission. You become self-referenced. Calm becomes your default, setting that powerful conclusion. One day, people will say you changed. They'll say you became distant, intense, different. They'll be right, because the old version of you survived on acceptance. The new version operates on alignment. You don't bend to be liked. You stand to be respected. And strangely, when you stop trying to control how others see you, you finally control your life. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself one question. What would tomorrow look like if I moved from self-respect instead of fear? Then live it, quietly, consistently, relentlessly, and watch how the world recalibrates around you. You don't need to become ruthless. You need to become rooted. Because storms don't uproot trees with deep foundations. They only scatter the ones that never grew strong beneath the surface. Become the tree. And when calm becomes your default, chaos loses influence over you.